Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2. Hello, hello, hello. Testing. Everything's working. Cool. All right, we're on live on YouTube. Okay. So there's our stream. All right. Let me just make sure. Okay, we have our chat is now running. Awesome. So we are now live on YouTube. And we've got two twins of somebody we will not mention, and I am going to share my screen. Hang on here. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Okay, I'm going to start up my share screen here. Give me a second. There we go. We are now live as far as I know. Seeing everything. Okay, so we have one person. Hello, Igor. How are you? Welcome. Okay, so tonight what we're focusing on are questions you may have about the service of either the Quant Analytics or the Quant Elite. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but we have a sale on right now. It's part of the Black Friday. It's 80% off for both, or actually for the Elite service. Normal price is $4,800 for the year, but we have it for $997 until midnight local time, which is Eastern Standard Time. If you need the link, let me know and I can provide it. We also have, hey everybody, how you doing? Yeah, so the other thing is we have the Quant Analytics as well. I believe I have that for $499, which is usually, if you took it out annually per month, be $1,200. So that's until the end of tonight, local time, 12 midnight. All right, so that's out of the way. So we have Bayram, Igor online. How you guys doing? We have another person on the Zoom link. So as I said, you guys can't see my screen, can you? Let me just see. Let me know if you guys can see my desktop. I'm just trying to look professional here as usual. Oh, YouTube's such a pain. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. My desktop. Okay, cool. Just trying to... Okay, cool. All right, so first thing is, have you guys, I'm doing all right, man. I hope you guys are doing all right too. So how many people we got? 2. Okay, so question is, you guys got any questions about the service? Because it's the whole point of this. I want to know if you guys have any questions at all about the service. I've got everything prepared. On the analytics front, I have provided a link to, I don't know if you've been watching my analytic videos. I put one up today, which is about half an hour. I go into great length to showcase what this thing can do. This is just the analytics. And this is basically using my strategy that I have been running for close to a year now, and I've finessed it pretty good. And over the last 2-3 weeks, I've finally got some predictability to it. And that's what my latest video focuses on. So I can show you that. If you go under my videos section on YouTube, here I have this video here called HK30 Index, USD, NOK, Forex, and SIA coin, Bitcoin look best. And that's for today. Now, that was made about 2-3 hours ago. Basically, what that video showcases some of the what I'm about to show you, but this is just a little more updated. And basically, out of right now, you know, the markets are getting slaughtered. So if I go over to Yahoo Finance, just give me a second here, and I'll show you in real time what the markets are. I have my strategy. It's about 6 scripts in Python that run. And right now, the markets did pretty well. I should say pretty well, but just barely eked some profit here, 0.33% on S&P 500, Dow, plus 0.5% or 0.44, crude up 0.97. So the markets weren't too bad. And this is the real killer part. I don't know, last time, just give me a second here. This ribbon thing's kind of screwed. Oil and gold are supposed to move indirectly, but here we are, got oil and gold moving together. So this is a tough market to trade in. And of course, Bitcoin, as usual, is in its free fall. They're predicting probably it's at 38 right now US, but it's supposed to go below 3,000 in the free fall. So we have a question from Barham. If I buy the elite to try, does this service cup for no? Okay, so good question, Barham. The service is for a full year. So let me walk you through it. So when you come in, I have two. After tonight, obviously everything goes back to normal. I have an elite trial which gives you full access, but it's $700. That's for 2 months access. But the one I'm giving you right now is a full year trial or full year annual term. Includes everything. I'll be doing 3 intakes for my Python course starting in the next week or so. It's pretty intense, but I can go through that. So if you go into the elite, I have a dashboard, and in that will give you access to over 4 courses. So depending upon your drive, you can learn a lot within that year. So as I said, I have 3 courses. The primary one, if you're brand new to algorithmic trading, programming skills, there's 2 courses I offer. There's Python version 2, which walks you through the infrastructure building blocks. So basically all the components that you'll need for a trading system, a custom trading system. I've talked to just today with somebody about their offerings, and they're well over $5,000. And it's just using a retail trading platform, which is a TradeStation. With this, you're getting Python. I got videos in here that will show you how to connect to FXCM, interactive brokers, Oanda. I've also got tons of demos with Dukas copies. So you got at least 4 brokers of choice. So you're not just tied to one platform, one broker. Also, this Python will cover a lot of areas: databases, charting, building out your basic components on what is needed for analysis using like an internal spreadsheet, I guess you could call it, using data frames. Also, then I have a second course, which goes very, very deep into interactive brokers. That's using pretty well all the major languages: Java, Python, and C++. Then I have another course, which is a foundation for all trading as far as I'm concerned when it comes to fundamentals, which covers futures and options pricing. It covers all the major parts of futures and options analysis. That will also pretty well cover anything to do with any kind of futures contract outside of stocks. So we're talking about commodity, fixed income, which would be like obviously central bank, bonds. Also, it will cover market indices throughout the world, plus also metals and agriculture. And then the other thing is I have 2 other courses, the Dukas Copy Visual Programming, which is using a tool from Dukas Copy, which will walk you through a tool from them to show you the different components that goes into a trading strategy. And the last one is I'll be limiting the axes. This is the back end of working with the current strategy that I'm running right now. And I call it from zero to hero for a reason. Question again, I am a Java developer, so can I do all of these processes with it instead of Java? You could. I'll tell you the reason why I like Python is because you're able to develop your strategy very quickly. And Python enables that. So for instance, if you see things in the markets that you may or may not like, you can probably have a strategy banged out within a few hours instead of a few days. with Java and the limitation of Java because it's such a beast to work with and to maintain an entire trading system. The way this is all laid out is very simple, and you're just using data frames. And with data frames, it's very powerful. It's like working with Excel, but you add in a lot of power on top of Excel. The other beautiful thing about Python is down the line, Google's releasing TensorFlow 2, which is going to be the biggest machine learning framework out there. And that is built for Python. And all of the new tools and the new updates for TensorFlow 2 is to work around the adaptability of Python. And then you'll be able to work with the Google TPUs, which is like GPUs, but Google's own solution for that. So you said it's quick. Python is slow, but my argument against that is when you are starting to work with strategies where you need to worry about the speed of the execution of the strategy, chances are the strategy is going to be too involved and too deep. The thing that Python can do for you, it forces you to architect your strategy to be very light, and meaning that will strip away all the unneeded complexities of the strategy. When you look at my Python strategy, I've worked with, I'd say, dozens upon dozens of technical indicators with Dukas Copy and JForex. And what I found was a lot of the indicators are not in what you need in real time. With the video I put up today, I perfectly explain that. And you can see the examples of where things like what I use, RSI shows you exactly when a particular instrument's going to come off. You can see it, and it takes about 9 hours before the momentum's lost, and then the price starts to decline. And once you start seeing things like this, you don't need to get into complexities of all these other indicators. It's just you need to understand and look at the patterns and find not just the patterns, but look for the predictability of it. And that's one of the big advantages that Python offers you, because it enables you to adjust very quickly if your entire scripting is architected correctly. And that's what I feel I've got now, because I can adapt to changes very, very quickly when the markets change. The other thing I like about Python is that if you are a retail trader working with retail brokers, a lot of the brokers, in order for them to stay relevant in the world of today of modern programming and providing a service as a broker, they have to adjust, meaning Python is a big factor that's keeping these businesses alive. So when you look at a Dukas Copy, which only supports Java, that broker is falling by the wayside because they're losing a lot of business, because when you get players like Awanda and FXCM, you will see how Dukas Copy is becoming, within a year, less and less relevant. And it's going to get worse for them if they don't get their platform to be compliant with Python, because Python within 3 years will be the most popular programming language out there. And it's easily the most popular language when it comes to algorithmic trading. And not only that, but as machine learning starts to take over, the standard language is going to be of choice is going to be Python. And that's all going to be driven by TensorFlow, because TensorFlow is becoming the big gorilla in the room, like I should call it. And then when you look at with what TensorFlow has on top of Keras, which is a simplified framework for machine learning, that is now being bundled into TensorFlow out of box. So they will all talk with each other, if that makes sense. And that's why I'm becoming more and more a firm believer of Python. And the other thing is with Python, it's complete open source. You're not tied to the broker, and you can bring in third-party elements with no limitation, meaning licensing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure if that answers your question regarding Java versus Python, but you can use Dukas Copy with Java. And I don't know if I've shown you this, but let me go back to my most recent videos. If you look at my recent videos here, last Friday, I have looked at 4 or 5 days ago here, I've looked at a new platform called MotiveWave. It's a Java-based platform. This thing is amazing. And it works on Mac OS. I don't know how I feel about Windows, but again, today I had to wait almost half an hour for my Windows to get back to normal so I can do stuff with it. And that's just the direction I find with Windows, is becoming just like a full-time job just to maintain the updates they release and all that stuff. So I like to work with Mac. So last Friday I was directed to look at this MotiveWave, and it's very powerful, and it's Java-based. Again, if you're using Linux, that's even better, because that's the platform I'm wanting to go on. So yeah, you can use obviously Python in Linux. I'm moving towards Linux. I like Manjaro as a distribution. And I do know MotiveWave also is supposed to at some point going to have a Linux-based version of this software as well. It's very powerful. I'm going to try to get them to do a webinar at some point when they can get their time, or whenever they have the time to do it. So MotiveWave is very powerful. I'd probably encourage you to look at if you want to really it's probably the best retail platform I've seen out there that supports and works with Java. So I'm not sure if that answers that. Let me check on the Zoom just to see if there's any questions. If there's any questions on the Zoom or the other YouTube stream, just go ahead, fire off your questions, anything about analytics or the elite service, because right now with the analytics in my video I put up today here, this one I just talked about, I'm starting to see predictability. For instance, I'm right now seeing, well, let me show you. If I go to my dashboard here on the analytics, this will get cleaned up hopefully the next day or next few weeks. Just getting some software bugs from the vendor that makes his dashboard stuff. But if you look at so right now I focus on 3 asset classes. I focus on CFD, I focus on FX, Forex, and chat. So that's what I focus on. And I use Binance for crypto, which is pretty well the largest exchange in the world for crypto. And then obviously Oanda as well for the CFD and Forex. I put out a video a few days ago on Saturday called Comparing Trading Platforms and Brokers on Google Trends. And that video will show you how big Oanda is. I didn't realize how big they are. And I don't know how well you know me, but I've got my big questions with Oanda. But the way I've developed this strategy is it comes back to stop losses. Once you start signaling back hard stop losses back to your broker, that's when your broker can get you into trouble, meaning you may not make any profit whatsoever because the market making division will go against you. I'm sure you know about that. It's called stop hunting. But this strategy I have defeats that because it tracks its own stop losses and for entry. So for instance, if you look at the CFD, I have a table here that tracks all stop losses right here. So, and it's using typical standard Fibonacci. So you're asking, do I have to subscribe to a broker? Yeah, you do. Well, there's a couple of options you have. I don't know what options you have for, or what brokers. And why don't you tell me what asset class? They'll answer my question more better. Do I have to pay a kind of further payment to the third party to learn and apply the things? Yeah, I mean, I have nothing to do with that. I have all the data, but I do have a subscription to IKeyFeed. So let me know what asset class that you're focusing on, and I can answer it better. I'll answer it this way though. For now, if you are using, let's say, Oanda, you can get realistic data with Oanda. The data I'm using, how much do you pay for them? Cryptocurrency. Okay, let's talk cryptocurrency if that's what you're asking. Okay, so cryptocurrency is free. if you go and sign up with, let's say, Binance, you can fund the account for as little as, I won't say a Bitcoin because that's $3,500 or whatever the price is. But you can start with $10, wherever your local currency is. You get that converted into a crypto. You fund your account. You can fund your account with Binance. And Binance, there's no application process. You're just using what they call a QR code. You send it over to Binance, and you're ready to go. So let me show you some examples. So this right here is my strategy running. Let me just see if okay, so this one right here, this console you're looking at right now is crypto. So right now there's over 300 plus crypto pairs, and I only look at the top 40 that are pretty well with volume and liquidity. So this is all free once you set up your account with the exchange Binance. You need to get access to a token and get up a API key. All the data you get is real world. Like, it's no distinction between testing data like on Interactive Brokers versus real world. Here, because you're signed up with Binance, it's free. It's absolutely free, and you can easily download the data. Now, another question that you had about Java versus Python. This is a beauty. If you are using Python, let's say, there's something called CCXT. Let me just see if I can. Yeah, let me just try. I hope this works. GitHub CCXT. This is a wrapper done in. Looks like I have to load up CC or Google. GitHub CCXT. Again, this is open source, meaning free. Here is a wrapper that talks to over 100 exchanges with cryptocurrency. And I'll repeat that. Well, I'll let you see it for yourself. Right here, you have over 133 cryptocurrency exchanges that you can use. So this wrapper, which is a package for Python, enables you to tie into any exchange of choice. Obviously, mine is Binance, which is the largest, and even the exchange now certifies this exchange, or this exchange certifies this Python package. So you can do all your orders, you can do all your data access, you can do all your account information through one wrapper, and be able to transfer all of that trading logic to another exchange with no hassles. So this isn't a broker API. That is right. But as I said, it's a wrapper to over 133 crypto exchanges. So you can get yourself back off the floor again, because, as I said, this is free, and it's all 100% open source. They support Python, PHP, and JavaScript. Good to know, no problem. So this is what makes trading in cryptocurrency really good. Because here I show you how in the Python course that I was offering there, I use this as the back end. And this is what I use to build data frames and all kinds of cool stuff to make life easy. And try that in the world of Java, C++, anywhere else. This is the genius behind these package writers and maintainers in Python, because especially in the world of crypto, it's one exchange, one wrapper to all these exchanges. It's really good. And I can easily go between one exchange, let's say Binance to Coinbase to Bitfinex or whatever. It's very little change on the coding side. So when you say DataFrame, okay, DataFrame. In the world of Python, there are three major packages. There's one called Pandas, DataFrame. So essentially, let me just pull up maybe this tutorial. This is just being random here. Here, you can see this is a typical DataFrame. So you can structure it like an Excel spreadsheet. So you have your column headers and then your rows. So you can manipulate through pandas and using data frames, be able to programmatically manipulate access, do whatever you want through the data frame, and be able to use any basic mathematical operations off it, no different than you would do in Excel. And again, another example of the genius behind the package fellas in the community. They make life so much better than Java, because I've worked with Java for, I don't know, 10 years, let's say. And to do this sort of stuff, it would take you days. And maintaining it would take you days. But this is very powerful. So this is one other example, what I use to exploit using the power of Python versus something like Java, because you're not tied to one broker. And again, it's open source. And it forces you to make your strategies much what I call lightweight and simpler. And you're more effective on your analysis. You're more effective on your forecasting. And then you can adjust and tweak very quickly because of how you've architected your software, if that makes sense. Or in that case, your trading software. Who else got questions? Because I could talk about, this is on the technology front. I usually lose people over this. But on the analysis part, what I've learned, now these charts are going to be removed in the next few days that you're seeing here. So this is going to be tables. So what I've learned is when you look at trading, a lot of it's driven by volume. So I can sort, in this case, this is not real time, but this is close to maximum an hour. So I look for what are the movers right now. So I can sort on both ends. Okay. So in this case, I know right now NASDAQ 100's at 1.92%. The 3-hour change is 2.03%. And here's the volume at 38.94. So that's important. So for the shorting side, I know I can short right now natural gas or oil. And here's a percent moves, 4.9, 4.78. So I can short those. So those are instant trading opportunities to me right now. Other question, forgot to ask, does the membership cover all Python, Java topics? Yes, everything you have access to for a year. And that's why marketing guys tell me this thing's worth a lot. So I don't think I'll be offering this price ever low like this. As I said, I've got my trial, and it's, if you break that cost down, it's $400 a month, 400 US. So I'm right now waiting to hear back from a major publisher for a book. And if this is a case where I become what they call a recognized publisher, next question. It's worth more than that, to being honest. Oh, thanks, man. Yes, it is worth more than that, to being honest. Yeah, I know. I've seen, I don't know if you've seen the crazy ads from Patricia Picks. It's just simple, dumbass stuff. It's a pure scam. She's charging $3,000 a year for what? Here you're getting a lot. You're getting a ton of stuff. Plus with the analytics, you get the trading on top of that. So it's pretty cheap. As I was saying with the recognized author thing, I have a guy who now charges, actually, sorry, he's self-published. He's now charging 35,000 euros for a 5-day session. If you want a one-to-one training, 5 days, 100,000 euros. Now, you may go, I can't afford that. That's fine, because it's not geared towards retail traders. It's not geared towards newbies. It's geared to family operations that are sitting on millions of dollar accounts that they're managing. So what's $35,000 to them? Nothing. And then the guy ends up managing their accounts anyways. I just talked to another guy. I'm not going to put out his name, but I'm trying to get him to present, to do a webinar. The question is, can they? This is what he said. He's a big author. He's well known. I'm just giving you the reality on the training side and what it costs. And this was no different than a few hours ago. So he was willing to do the webinar, but then he came back and he asked me, what about your group? Who am I presenting to? Can they afford a $5,000 program? And then if you want his consulting work, it's $1,000 an hour. Okay. And I'm just giving you the lowdown on how much people charge what. And I've got other people in very high up. So I'm just saying for anybody out there that has questions about the cost, is nothing really compared to what other people are charging. And I'd also like to mention that this author I just talked to, again, it's tied back to a retail trading platform. It's not Python. So when you're dealing with these trading platforms, you're tied to a broker and you're very limited in what you can access through other third-party frameworks. So with Python, you eliminate all that because it's open source and you can get right into the standard and machine learning. You can get into the standard of any database you want with no restrictions, but you get that with a lot of other stuff. So let me see who we got left on. Not sure if that answers everybody's questions so far, but as I said, I'm going to be, next question. Can I write my own trading platform by the time, such as jumping another company sometime next year and work for them? Yeah, you can, because that's one thing that what Python offers. I mean, Java is good to know, and Java is still a fairly powerful language. But when you look at greenleaf projects, meaning new projects coming around on a trading front, trading algorithm front, it's either going to be in C++, and chances are the front end and scripting end or framework will be done in Java and Python. So learning Python will keep you up to date, and it will get you, I can't guarantee it'll get you a job. It just depends, I don't know your resume. But the direction is more and more companies are moving towards Python. As I said, especially when it comes to machine learning. And when machine learning, with the new TensorFlow comes out, I believe the next month in December, that will become the standard framework to know, and it's all going to be built for Python. So I'm not sure if that will answer your question. In terms of timeline, that again is up to you. Like I said, I'm hoping to have 3 intakes, and the intakes will last about 6 weeks. The courses can be intense, just dependent on your programming levels. So it's your limitation on your capabilities. So let me just show you one of the typical course material. So I'm not sure how well you know how everything's set up, but I set up everything in modules, and then I have what they call units. So some of these modules can have videos for an hour. Just depends what you want to go through. So here we have introductory stuff. So let me show you how many modules. So right now we have 12 modules. So the plan was to do in like live sessions like this twice a week, Mondays and Thursday nights, and then divide up each session. So Monday night would be module 1, the following Thursday would be module 2, and move and stagger it like that. So it'd be Monday, the following Monday would be module 3, next Thursday would be a module 4, and so forth. But when you break it down on that kind of schedule, that enables you to complete the thing in 6 weeks. Some may be able to complete it, some may not. It just depends upon you and your capabilities. Okay, some more questions. Can I write my own trading platform by the time another company next year and work for them? As I said, that depends on you, but your marketability goes up when you start working with Java. You were talking about CFD analysis screen, how the trading app and algorithm buy and sell the assets itself. If you can give a brief explanation. Sure. Okay, so for the CFD side, you come into the analytics. Now this is just for pure trading, what I'm about to show you. So here you'll see that there is the CFD section right here. So this is where we'll break up. So in here, what I have, and this is no different for crypto, currency, and Forex. They're all the same structure. But the only difference between crypto is that data, that trading is done with Binance. CFD and Forex is done with Oanda. So what I'm going to be moving towards is basically looking at every single asset like a screener, or every instrument for that asset class. In this case, I have 16 entries that I can analyze, but it's actually 32. And the reason I'm saying 16, because you don't really care about the bottom 16. They're not performing. They don't have the volume. So you want to focus on the top 16, and out of that batch will be your top performers. In our case, we have, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 are profitable, starting at the UK 10-year bond at 0.59. And those are your top performers right now. And you can analyze it on a 3-hour change or a 1-hour change. I like the 1-hour change. The reason I list both is because it shows you with the volatile instruments that are out there. That's why I look at the 3 years comparison for performance on top of the volume as well. To, you know, as I say, I'm sure you know, you have your spike in your price, and it may come off as volume drops. So that's why I have the volume listed. Also, I use as a factor is an overall ranking. So in this, I can put in a Fibonacci I use head and shoulders, HF's difference. I use trend, volume, momentum. Then I get into statistics using standard deviation. And then I can also use harmonic patterns, slope, and other detailed statistics. Here's the closing price. And then I use another package for further, more detailed momentum and trending statistics. I don't use them all, but it's just there for confirmation. On top of here, I'm going to be taking all these out. These are hourly charts, but just to show you as an example what can happen in the markets, let me just blow this one up here. Okay, so here, this is an hourly chart, okay, for the last set hours, okay? So we go back 1 hour, 2 hours from reverse. So here you can see what's clearly happening. We can have a nice upswing, goes flat, comes up again, and then it declines, and then we have a little bit of a decline, which is your whipsaw. So if you have positions along the way here in any of these hour time frames, and you have this whipsaw, you're now back to negative, which means you're now losing money. And then you have to hope to your Lord and your maker that you're able to make back what you lose and then continue to start making money again. So this is very important to see these whipsaws, these fast-moving whipsaws that come out of nowhere. So I track those. And that's been the most difficult part about trading overall, no matter what you're trading, no matter what time frame you're using. So I have hourly charts. I also include the spread of your bid and ask, because everybody's asking me, you know, if I trade a very exotic instrument like Turkish lira against the Japanese yen, you're going to have a spread. So I include that, and then let me just show you as an example. You can barely see the orange here. So the blue versus orange. But these are all tight spreads, so you don't have to worry about the spread. Here you worry about the spread in these instances right along here, because that right there is how you lose money when you put on your position if the spread's too high. Also, I track stops and losses, but these are actual targets. This is using Fibonacci's and Fibonacci levels. That's why we have levels 2 and 3 are your entry and exit potentially. And I actually calculate what your entry should be. So if the price at some point hits this number here at level 2, that could be an entry or one way to enter the market. And that's just something that I use. On top of, I've got the Fibonacci levels as well, which is the different colors here. So when you do an entry into the market, you want to be between this purple and there's green. That's your perfect timing. So here for this particular asset, which is the Hong Kong 33, it's right in there. It's what they call a golden zone. You want to be in there for valuation, because if you start to if you enter the market here and the price does come off, guess what? You're going to start losing money. Not just that, but when it's above this blue, that tells you if your entry means it's like an RSI, meaning it's overvalued. So you don't want to enter into the market. You want to follow classic trends, meaning buy low. So if you're around here and you rode this price up, you're doing well, because you're going to start making money. It's classic buy low, sell high. And that's what the Fibonacci is, one very useful thing for Fibonacci's. So I track those as well and offer the different levels. On top of, this is the key now, is those, what I call the, it's the Whipsaws. So what I do in my system is I track Whipsaws. So in this case here, we have a Whipsaw that's happening on this particular, actually, no, I'm sorry, it's what they call an alert. So my system with the scripts that I have offer different types of alerts. So they can be based upon harmonics, they can be based upon head and shoulder, they can be based upon Fibonacci, and I know there's another one out there that I'm forgetting, but based on a candle as well. Candlesticks. So I use 6 very predictable candle patterns as well. And I log those, and I'm able to determine at what point was this signal offered to me using any of those methodologies, and it will log the time. Okay, so I can determine as another factor to say, yes, this is a really good entry. These are the whipsaws I was mentioning. So I logged the last 6 hours of whipsaws. So as I showed you in this hourly chart here, we're tracking all of the moves over each hour. So your whipsaw gets logged over an hour. So if you know you're going to take on a position or enter into the market on a particular instrument, the first thing you want to check for is your whipsaw. Was there a whipsaw bar that went against you over the last 6 hours? And chances are, if there was, don't take the trade, because chances are it's so volatile for whatever reason. You take on a trade and there is a whipsaw and you're logging them, chances are it's going to whipsaw against you when you have an open position, which means you're losing money. You don't want that. So you want to pick instruments that have no whipsaws, and that's why I log this. It's very important to understand that. And that has been the biggest struggle for the last 2 years, trying to figure, and then finally the light went on and said, you know what? I'm going to log whipsaws and not take positions on of those instruments that have whipsaws over a certain amount of hours, be it 6 hours, 8 hours, but you don't want it too long as well, because your market conditions can change over those 6 to 8 hours. And that's what I'm finding over the last 2 years. So that's pretty well the whole thing in terms of analysis. But I've got a lot more than that. So for instance, let me show you an example here. So I can also go really, really, really deep. And this is powerful, not just for analysis and picking the correct instruments at the right time, but this gives you a more in-depth analysis on things where you can filter out trading opportunities based upon longs, shorts, be it based upon trend line and slope or volume, because it makes a big difference. Oh, before I go on, I'm going to current my own trading platform. Okay, we covered that. You were talking about CFD. Okay, so there's no more questions so far. I don't see any questions on my Zoom as well. But here's an example of one of the really in deep opportunities. So here, this was generated yesterday at 15:56. Okay, so ran the analysis. And this is potential opportunities on longs based upon trend line and slope. Okay, I will tell you a week ago, and here it is. This right here, if you don't see this, natural gas went pretty crazy last week when the markets did not report it. You can see here this rise. It just went up 10. I think it went up to 20% in a span of a couple hours. Most news agencies like Bloomberg will not report this, but I saw it, and you could have made mad money with this, and it lasted for about 2 days. Okay, and no discretionary trader will be able to catch this, but when you scan the markets like this, you can capture these kind of moves, and when you get these kind of moves, they can work in your favor. So the comment was complicated. I cannot read. That's why I live and die by charts. But here you got your classic green arrow, red arrow for your buying and sell signal. But here I think it's 8 charts. Okay, so you can see the slope here. Here's the Fibonacci's again. Then I also do a statistical distribution on the returns, daily returns, but you can see it's more negative, and that's because, well, it's summer season, there's no demand for natural gas. But as we move into colder season in November, we know demand's going to go up, which means the price will go up, and that's why you get these mad swings. So if there's a sudden colossal snowstorm that comes out of wherever and hits half of the US and half of Canada, what's going to happen to the price of natural gas? It's going to skyrocket. These are the opportunities you look for to make mad money. And I can't explain this to people, but you can clearly see here on the volume, as that price just spiked, the volume went crazy. And that's the key of it, but that's the advantage of automation and being able to use these kind of skills or having programmatic scripts to do these, because this right here, from this point to this point, and being able to ride that out, that's free money being thrown at you. And that would make you a lot of money in a very short amount of time, which I believe this started probably that move. I mean, the price, I would say it's gone up at least 50% in about a week. Okay, and I see these all the time. Before this was sugar, was another big one, but you can clearly see the volume. I see each of these green bars as it moves up. That's driving the price. That's what you want to catch, and that's how you can compound your returns, and that's how you're able to quickly build basically your wealth. The thing here is that the RSI is very powerful. It's the closest indicator I've seen in real time that actually works. So you can see here RSI. Wish I could blow this up a little better. But let's see. You can clearly see the peak of the RSI. Once it drops off, we get a big downward move. And there's techniques to be able to catch that and get out before that drop hits. And then people pile in again and drive it back up again. That's just the way trading works. And then you can measure that by RSI, and you can measure that by momentum. Next question. How to buy asset in the first we do trading, from Binance or from natural gas? You know what? You can do both at the same time, because this is the power of program automation. This is at scale. Right now, what I'm running is I've got, okay, so I'm scanning right now crypto with this one. I am, let's see. I think this is, yeah. So this is running Australian dollar against Singapore. So that's Forex. And then I also have another one, I believe, for CFD somewhere here. Yeah, well, so I can run all three at the same time, and it just logs everything. So we will all learn, all. Yeah, yeah, I mean, the idea here with this course, let's go back to my Elite thing. So as I said, I have this course right here, version 3, that will walk you this course over how long you want to go through it, and it's on demand, so you can get all your stuff as you see fit. Be able to learn what I'm talking about: data frames, databases, the charting. Here we got pandas, the data frame, very simple technical analysis using TALib for Python, how to fund a crypto account. Then we get into chart director. I also include a lot of bonus stuff as well, using a Wanda if you wanted. There's a lot. How to set up Python Forex brokers. I do believe I put one in here for interactive brokers as well with Python. I mean, it's big, what I have. So yeah, I show you the building blocks for all that. So that's the power of what I've got. Here, as you can see, this is a simple Word document, right? Does the module schedule less sessions? Are they videos, group, or personal classes? Okay, so this is what I did a few years ago. So like I said, these are each module. As I said, module 1 will be one night, module 2 will be another night. The idea is when you sign up, you get access to everything. Once you sign up, you have access to everything. How I want to structure it is, if we know this particular Monday night, you go through everything in advance, you got questions, that's what that live session is for, to go over those questions. There's no time limit on stuff. And a lot of it with yourself turns into like a one-on-one if other people aren't asking questions themselves. That's the whole point of it. And I'm going to do maybe 2 or 3 sessions of this. I'm not sure yet of how it'll work. But that's what I'm planning to do, and it went really well. And then I also, at the end of it, I did this 2 years ago. I've included 2 videos as well. Let me just see if I can find them. 2 videos that went over a workshop. I remember it was for interactive brokers. And I did a one-on-one session with the guy. I asked him, can I record this? He said, sure. And then I recorded it, put it as part of these courses, and it enables other people to have probably typical same scenarios to know how to get around those problems when they start implementing their own technology. So that's what I do. And as I said, I got the one guy I mentioned is doing that for $1,000 an hour. So you do the math. So how far? So 7:51. Anybody else got any questions? Anybody else got comments? I mean, I could go on about this particular document here, but I just want to show you, this is a great example of a typical move. 2 weeks ago when the markets were getting killed, it was sugar. And this is also a defense play, I might add, too. You're not going to get these kind of moves in Forex, but you will get them in crypto. For instance, if I go over to the crypto, or how to meet charts. Is it how to read the charts? The charts are pretty simple. Let me show you the actual software. I'm giving you all the trade secrets here. That's okay. But most people would want to be paying for the live session. I mean, anyone can read a book or play with software. But the thing's called Chart Director. Let me look up the Chart Director gallery. Right here. Okay, here's the finance charts. So these are, you've seen these charts before, right? So, yeah, so these are similar charts, the same ones that I'm using. But here you can add your own indicator. They support a lot of indicators of software. And it's only $150 based upon the programming language. It's called Chart Director. Here's the sample code. So you can create standalone versions. The code's pretty simple. Let me show you a couple examples if you want to know. Yeah. Okay, let me just take you into that. So it's pretty straightforward. It's the easiest one that I've seen. Let's see it. Oh, I know. Okay, so I'll just show you some of the Python code because they have pretty well any language. Why is this not working for me? Oh, yeah, I gotta go into there. And Python demo, there we go. Okay, so let's say I'm gonna show you some sample code here for the financial. It's real, it's for what it can do compared to Matplotlib. It's much more easier. So I'll show you the code for one of the finance. So I'll do finance to Python. Okay, so here's the code. Yeah, so here's all the code for that, and it's less than, technically it's less than 40 lines of code to generate that. It's real simple. So like I said, you can add in your technical indicators just by this kind of call, add simple moving average, add candlestick, or whatever indicator you want. It's that simple. That's why I use it. It's fast too. 2 more questions. So we're going to learn by them by that time. Yeah, it's part of the course. Oh, Art, how you doing, man? We talked by email. I'm not sure if I have a question, but I just want to see the platform you're working with involving crypto bots trading. Art, we've already covered this over this video. This will be up. There will be a video playback for it. So if you want to watch that, I did show CCXT, which is one of the wrappers that you can use. This guy right here, they'll talk to over 100 exchanges. So it's just basically one programmatic change, and it's done for all your exchanges in crypto. It's pretty powerful. So, I mean, what you're getting with this whole course, instead of you going out in the free world looking for solutions and wasting your time, I've kind of consolidated it all for you. Save yourself some time. And what works best, and it's very snappy and get it done real fast, and in a simple way as well, with the you know, things like DataFrame, CCXT, this chart director I'm showing you. We've not even talked about the database as well. I use Redis. It's a beyond a powerful database. I can use that thing as my data hub for other platforms. So as I said, if I was to bring in this newly discovered trading platform like MotiveWave and be able to have it talk to the MotiveWave platform, I can do that, but I can only do that through a database like Redis. So it's really powerful. And the other thing about MotiveWave, I should mention to you, it's one of the only, I think it's the only retail trading platform that talks to, yeah, let me show it to you. This thing's blew my mind. Okay, so it's called MotiveWave, and it's a shout out to local boys that was the company that built this. So MotiveWave, let's say in my case, oh, no problem, Art. Okay, so this is really important. I mean, you could blow your brains out trying to go from one broker to another and get one platform to work with another platform because of data. This thing gets rid of all that. So, for instance, in my case, I use IQFeed, and here's the reason why I use IQFeed. IQFeed talks to anything. Okay, these are the asset classes it talks to: stocks, forex, futures, indices, and CFDs, and options. IQFeed talks to all of those. It's the only data provider that does that, and it's very cheap. Okay, so you're covered there. Now, the other thing is this same platform will talk to cryptocurrencies. This is where it gets crazy. So it will work with Crypto Compare to do all your data pricing with Crypto Compare out of the box. I was trying to connect to their API, and it was a pure nightmare. This platform eliminates all of that. Okay, they've done all the work for me. And I'll tell you, the price that you pay is going to be going to save you so much time and frustration in spades. That's why I'm really excited about this platform. Not only is it to talk to, as I said, IQ Feed and something like Crypto Compare, but it also works with bar chart, which is very powerful, and all the other popular providers. Now, that's just data provider, okay? So then when you look at the brokers, this is where it gets very exciting from my point of view. These are all the really good brokers. So we're dealing with Owanda, problem solved. If I want to move to Forex, problem solved. If I want to talk to, of all the big daddies in my mind, is interactive brokers. Why interactive brokers? Again, look at all the asset classes you get to cover: stocks, Forex, futures, CFDs, options. That is what interactive brokers gives you, okay? This is a powerful thing. I don't have any affiliation with this company whatsoever. I just discovered this a week ago. And everything's built around Python. So again, everything's built around Java, and this will work on the Mac OS as well as Windows. And I'm hoping, praying to our maker that we are able to say, yes, let's have it work for Linux. And there should be no reason why that shouldn't happen. But this is why I'm really excited about this platform. The charting is none other. The charting of this covers all of the things that I love. I use Fibonacci's, and I use harmonics. This thing covers both. So it covers the Java, okay? It covers, so much. Where are my Fibonacci? Has what we call depth of market, which you have to hand build yourself, which is a pain. But it covers everything that you can imagine. Elliott wave, Gartley, which is harmonic. It also covers GAN. Powerful stuff indeed. Oh, sorry, we got another question. Just downloaded MATLAB release 2018B. Okay, I will tell you, I absolutely love MATLAB to death. The problem with MATLAB is it's really expensive. You want to do some powerful stuff in MATLAB, you're going to be spending in the neighborhood of 5,000. I mean, things may have changed, but that's where Python has come in, and it's really crushing what MATLAB can do. And you don't have to pay anything for it, and it's open source. Nothing against the guys, the folks at MATLAB. They're doing a phenomenal job with the software. But when I wanted to do what I wanted to use with MATLAB, it would have cost me a concurrent license or evolving license of $250,000 every 4 years. So I'm like, well, that's for a little guy like me, that's a lot of cash. So that's why I flipped over to Python. And I've been with Python now for 2 years. And up until then, I've always been a big, firm believer of MATLAB. Not sure if that's profanity or not. Oh, man. I hope you just got the home edition. But Python's pretty powerful. And again, there's going to be a video playback on this, so you can watch that and be able to, see the advantages of Python. Nothing against MATLAB. You've not wasted your money. I will tell you, if you've got MATLAB and you're invested in MATLAB, do not worry. You're not wasting money. You can get stuff done so quickly in MATLAB, but it costs you. If you've already got MATLAB, it's a fantastic, they're probably the best out there for machine learning. They're the best out there for code generation. If you've never worked with Simulink, it is an amazing visual tool that can do so many things. And I don't even know where to start with it. Corey asks, I'm new, trial, and I love Python. Yeah, Python's simple. Well, I shouldn't say, but it's powerful. It's like I like to call it checkers. Easy to understand, but very hard to master. And that's true with any language, but Python's probably a good starting point. So no go using it at home. No, I'm not saying MATLAB's great. It's just the question is in terms of investment from a dollar perspective, Python is very powerful. As I was mentioning earlier, Python's going to soon be the standards for machine learning. Python will be soon the standard for pretty well a lot of programming systems out there. I've heard a tool called Algo Trader is posted job ads. Have you? Yeah, I know about Algo Trader. Let me just pull that up for everybody. Let me say Motive Wave. Just alone on pricing. This is really important. I have nothing to do with Motive Wave. I want you to understand that. But I'm just here to show you the price. So if I do a comparison of editions, this thing is very, 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 very cheap. If the pricing is in here. Let's see if I can find the purchasing options. Okay. So the purchasing, it can be either what they call leasing or buying a one-time license. If I could just get the price. Doesn't matter. Let's say you get the package with everything, costs you $1,500 once. That's it. So that's all you need to worry about. It's called the Ultimate Edition. When you get the trial, you know, that's what you get. But here's a lifetime license. It's a one-time deal. If you want to get the updates every year, it's pretty cheap actually. $200. That's pretty cheap. Anyway, it's back to Algo Trader. Okay, Algo Trader. I know those guys from Switzerland. Really good platform. Now, here's the price. I've not seen this, but I think you need to compare pricing. See, here's the pricing. Now, I don't know the business model of Algo Trader if you're paying. I'm not sure what you're paying, if it's a monthly fee or a one-time fee. But if you're paying over $1,500 for a year with the feature set of Motive Wave versus this, I think if you do a comparison, you'll find Motive Wave is the better one. And again, that's for Java. But here's the problem with Motive Wave, and I've not told them this yet, or they may not even see my blog. The problem with Motive Wave is when you work with their API or their Java software developers kit, what happens is if you want to throw in a database into the call in your Java jar file, what will happen is it doesn't connect. Their debugging needs a lot of work. And if you're okay with just working with only the platform, definitely Motive Wave is something to look at. But another option to get around that, I'm figuring, is if you are going to use something like IQFeed, you can have Motive Wave act as your connector into IQFeed. On Mac, in my case, is why I'm like looking at it. And when I started looking at it further, I'm like, wow, this thing's powerful. You can use that as a huge data generator using IQFeed. You can also build a lot of studies within Motive Wave. So the price of the software alone is worth it just for that. And you can still build your other components with both Java and Python together as two separate languages. And I'm planning to do that. And then, as I said, using a database like Redis as the hub, which glues everything together. And my Interactive Brokers course covers that in detail. So 807, anybody else got any questions or comments? Not how I'm doing. I might have nobody left on my Zoom. Anybody else got any questions or comments? As I said, I mean, there's so much here. I mean, I've only been at it for just over an hour. This is just the latest stuff. I mean, I've got tons of stuff over the last very close to 10 years of research. If it's .NET, MATLAB, R, Python, so on and so forth. It's all covered. Okay, Corey says, I just want to, okay, just waiting on the, on that last bit here. I do realize that the synchronization is not synchronized between YouTube and my voice. It's not real time, but he says, really wanted to get into the trade basically, and I absolutely have no idea where to start. I do have a wallet. Okay, good enough. Okay, why don't we start from the beginning? All right. So if you're new, I've got a video. Actually, if you go to my YouTube channel, just to my basic video, my teaser video, I cover that in this particular video. I can show it to you, but it'd be right here. Basically, what that video goes over what I'm about to show you. So let's say you're a beginner, okay, but you have programming skills. There's different tracks you can go down. And if you want to learn what goes into a trading platform, okay, cool. He's loud and clear. All right, so let's say you start with this course, the Python version 3 Algo Trading Infrastructure Building Block course. As I said earlier, I developed this course for retail traders. I developed this for students and people that are in the programming field that want to move into algorithmic trading. So this tries to cover everybody. The thing is, when you start looking at the beginner stuff in this particular course, it's really to cover why Python, the advantages of it. I cover all the major languages, and then I go into the tools that you'll need. From there, I go into, as I said, the tools and the methodology. And as I said, this is what a typical module will cover. And then you get all the necessary tools that you want. I give you some sample code to start. Okay, obviously this is not a course to teach you how to program. I mean, there's tons of resources for that. But the idea here is to give you a roadmap on how to build out a custom trading platform. That's the point of it. A custom trading platform offers you a lot of advantages. As I said earlier, as long as you are using Python, be it in crypto, Forex, stock, whatever, you're able to talk to all the major brokers out there in a very simplistic way using Python. So this whole course is kind of roadmap and structured like that. So I cover all the major pieces that would go into a trading platform, be it how you can capture data. I cover how to manipulate that data and then be able to build out data sets. And as I said earlier, I talked about data frames, and it's no different than working with Excel, but just think Excel on steroids. And in actual fact, even Microsoft are worried that as data science takes over the corporate world, that there's now no longer the need of Excel. It's all going to go Python because like data science, AI, what are the other buzzy terms? All of that analytics is going into the umbrella of data science. And that's going to eliminate Excel. Microsoft's very worried about that because this is an open source technology. And because of that, this will help you even just from that point of view. So with this particular way I've taught the DataFrame methodology, then you can start working with a lot of technical analysis indicators using something called TALib. And this is another open source technical analysis library that you can use with Python, and it's got over 300 technical indicators. So when you have 300 technical indicators at your ready and showing you how to easily use it, you can use it within 3 lines. It's beyond powerful, and includes candle patterns or candlestick patterns as well. And I show how to use that. Then I move into databases, and probably the crust of it all. You don't have to be a data expert, but I've looked at pretty well all databases over the years. And Redis, this one right here, is what they call a NoSQL database, which means there's no structure. But the way I formatted it, it enables you to build a data structure within a database, includes all the major features that you would expect out of a multi-$100,000 plus database like Oracle or SQL Server, but this is for free because it's true open source. And the thing is with this thing, it's very fast. And that's what I have running right now, where all my current scripts talk to something to store the data, which is in here. This is Redis server right here. And then I can load up a database client that will be able to look at that data. I can show you that later if you're interested. So that's what I focus on here in these particular modules. And once you see the power of it, and again, it's open source. Now you can do a lot of powerful things, and you don't need to be an expert to know how to do it. And then I move into what I showed already. If you are interested in cryptocurrency as an asset class, you can use something called CCXT, which I've already covered in this video, so you can watch it at a later time. And then be able to, this includes your data, this includes your account information, also includes your pricing as well, like your orders and execution. From there, I look into Chart Director, which I've already covered in this video as well. A very powerful charting framework. It's all static charts, but it's powerful. And then we cover all the different brokers, the different plumbing of the whole system. And that's your custom trading platform. You may not get this overnight. You may not get this in a month. But if you ever opted for the service that I got, you got a full year on top of, if you ever wanted to go more advanced. As I said, I've got 3 other courses that covers interactive brokers in detail, covering fundamentals for futures and options. There's a lot of stuff here. But if you're new to programming, I would start right here in the Python, as I've explained. That will be the most powerful thing you can do for yourself for time, for, as I call, securing your own future, being able to run analysis in parallel, which is critical. As I said, I've got these 3 scripts right now running in parallel, looking at 40 cryptocurrency pairs, and I can have this thing run with 300 plus pairs on top of Forex and CFDs as well. And I can do that with everything coming out of Oanda as well. Yes, that's right, Corey. It's a roadmap to a custom trading platform that you own, including the source code. I just talked to a guy 2 weeks ago who struggled to build a very basic trading algorithm and platform. In the middle of the job, the programmer bailed. So he spent, I don't know, maybe let's say thousands of dollars. The programmers quit. And to get another programmer to do the job will be kind of hairy for him, because now you got to hire a programmer to reverse engineer all that code, which means the guy's going to be charging for that, and then to continue to finish the job. And to be honest, I've got people that have blown literally retirement funds to get these sort of systems up and running when they don't know how to program. But I'm going to be honest with you, this is the right way to do it, to save yourself time, frustration, and all that fun stuff. Because you own the source code and you understand it, and you're using a very simple programming language. As I said before, when it came to that data science stuff, all that stuff is done in Python. All of it's done in Python. I'd say 90% chance it's done in Python. You will get R, but you don't get the versatility that Python offers you. So yeah, this is a roadmap to a custom trading platform that you will understand and that you can get up and running if you're willing to put the time and you have the inner drive to complete it. That's the thing. Does anybody else got any questions or comments? So all the stuff that you see in my analytics and the reports and the charts, that's all generated from the stuff that I'm showing you tonight. And with all the new stuff that I've discovered with MotiWave, I mean, that blows the doors open, wide open. So I'm no longer strangled to Windows, which is just a real pain to be on. And you have licenses and restrictions and updates you've got to battle with. But here, I mean, on a Mac, it has its own issues as well, nowhere near what Windows has. And then you can move to Linux as well. You're running Redis with iTerm, correct? Yeah, that's right. This right here is, yeah, Python. This software right here is iTerm2. Correct. Is it possible for me to take a small nest egg amount and trade it with successfully enough soda pay for your code, not enough? Trying to understand. So you're trying to put a nest egg into this and trade it successfully enough. So maybe that's a spelling mistake. You want to retype that? Enough pay for your, I'm going to assume code, not enough so. Yeah, not sure if I can understand that. If you're asking about should you put a retirement fund into this, absolutely not. I would not expect anyone to do that, because I'm not saying that this is high risk. It is, but you start small. I mean, nothing's stopping you with starting a $20 Awanda account or a $100 account. I mean, you could spend that taking your wife or your girlfriend on, okay? But the thing is, if you start with that amount of money and you just trade with a tiny amount when it comes to your orders, for instance, original, like the minimal amount that you put on that trade or that position, it won't be more than $2, $3, okay? And you can easily blow out a $100 account versus some people will go out, spend 10 grand on a custom trading, whatever it is, with all the screens and all, and then put another 5 grand or 100 grand into it and lose. I wouldn't recommend that. You start small. It's all about baby steps. And when it comes to the trading side and the trading account side, you start very small. Trading in crypto, especially, you can trade on the like if you looked at the amount of pricing on crypto. Let me just show you. You could put a trade on and test it for not more than 1 penny. So with $100, even $20, you can go wild and do all kinds of crazy testing with it. Let me just pull up some sample pricing here with crypto. And you can test your code, your logic, and your strategies as well. So does Elite membership include Dukas Copy J4X to programming Forex and CFDs? Yes. Okay, let me just show you before we continue. Let me show you the stop loss. See right here? Right here. This trade, you put in a minimal amount of 1 or 5 units. You're not even more than a penny. So it's not even low risk. It's minute risk to test your trading logic. And you know you're getting a return on that position. You expand it and scale it out and get more confident and change and tweak your strategy. So it's a very, very low risk in terms of nest egg on a platform. So we got another question. Does Elite include Dukas Copy J4X for programming Forex and CFDs? Yes, it does. Okay. So at the bottom here, if you come under the course, you'll find here, if I can get this working properly, right here, Dukas Copy Visual Forex and J4X. Now, I really like what Dukas Copy is building out. I really do. The thing is, it's really meant for non-programmers. This tool called Visual J4X. It'll walk you through how to use it. It's kind of old, but it'll give you an idea of what goes into a trading strategy. I think Dukas Copy is very relevant for that. The platform itself with J4X, which is great. Here's how you know you have a dying broker, okay? Just go to alexa.com. Okay, this is what I do. And remember, I put out a video on this as well on Google Trends. I will tell you, this is really important to understand. Not only do you have to do your research on will the broker trade against me, but you also have to worry about trading volume. Because if you don't have enough volume in the broker, like this is for the last year. And you can clearly see at what level Duca's copy was at 35,000. Now they've lost 10,000, which means they're shrinking as a business. Okay. But when you look at someone like Oanda as a broker, now remember that's 46 most popular website online. But when you look at Oanda, they're at position 4,393, which means they're way bigger, 10 times bigger than Duca's copy, and that affects volume. And that volume will affect your trading opportunity. So just remember that. And I've heard from multiple sources that Duca's copy, I can't say they are, but they seem to be shrinking. The prizes are getting smaller and so on and so forth. So, and I think a lot of that has to do with because they're not a Python, their API does not support Python, and that's critical. So I just want you to remember that. But yeah, I do cover Duca's copy. And I'm kind of in between that mode. Do I go Oanda? Do I go Interactive Brokers? If I stick with Oanda, it really depends because they're not an ECN. They have a market making division. It's really important to structure your strategy to protect you against that. And as I said earlier in this video, you do not want to signal back hard stop losses and take profit back to the broker because they can manipulate against that. And if you don't believe me, you can just look up the term stop hunting. That's pretty rampant in Forex broker land. It's about saying Oanda do it or Duca's copy do it. I know Duca's copy do it because they're an ECN. So they don't have a market making purchase. Thanks, man. Good. Again, when it comes to anybody interested in the product, let me just show you where to go. I have a store online here at quantlabs.net. If you go to the store here, you'll see everything that I've listed out. And just go under Quant Elite Membership. You have two options. And right here, you can just buy now. And that will take you to PayPal. So if you're interested in that, well, it's 8:30 now. As I said, this will close off tonight. And it will go back to its $4,800 price. So I'm not here to put pressure on you, but that's the best way. If you want, you can email me at feedback@quantlabs.net, and I'll get you the link directly if you want. And soon I'll be able to take direct cryptocurrency, and I'm just learning about Facebook as well. You can do payments through Facebook as well, but I don't qualify because I'm a Canadian. So, but I'm sure that'll get rolled out to Canada as well, that service. But this is a style. I do all this stuff. I do it privately. Right now, you could be hooked into my Zoom as well, live, and we can be more synchronized in real time, so there's no delay of 20, 30 seconds or whatever YouTube decides. I just make the YouTube available because it's easy for people. They don't have to go in, download software, and YouTube seems to work for a lot of people. So there's that. Anybody else got any questions or comments? So remember, this is an hour and a half. I don't put hard stops on the time frames here. You got questions, you got whatever. I definitely can hang out and answer whatever comments or questions you may have. Sometimes I get hate mail, well, not hate mail, but hate comments. But if there's nothing else, there's a couple of you out there, and I'm not sure. People are coming and going on it, but I'm here. If you got questions or comments, just type in the YouTube chat because I know nobody's on my Zoom US webinar. Well, it's just me. So everybody else is on YouTube. Also, just so you know, I use Facebook quite a bit now for all my events get posted on Facebook. I do this every Monday. I've got a podcast. I got some episodes that get delivered once or two episodes a day. I have that. I've got standard. What do we got? We got standard LinkedIn, Twitter, but Facebook's what I use, and obviously 2,000 plus videos on YouTube. Been doing this for almost 10 years coming up in January. So if anybody's got any comments or questions, please get them up and running, or if you can, on the chat on YouTube. But as I said, if you are interested on the on this deal or any of them, let me know. Oh, Art asks, great presentation, Brian. Sure, amazing value and saving up to you. Oh, thanks. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Such amazing value and saving up for your future classes. It's a shame I'm missing on this one. You know what, dude? Don't worry. We're going to have lots of stuff. I'm not going to be the kind of person that gets all selfish and greedy. I love and very passionate about this. I love doing it. And anybody have any questions or concerns, just get in touch with me. I get it covered. If you even go onto my Facebook Messenger, right there, it'll say 80 or 90% of the time I respond within 2 hours, unless I'm physically sleeping, obviously, and that's probably what's holding me back. But I do respond. I do care about people that join and want to see them get successful. That's the name of the game. But don't worry, there's going to be lots of opportunities in there. I'm sure there's lots of, I mean, I even have trial editions you can try out for just the analytics for $40 for 7 days. I mean, that's how low it is. You just get a feel of how the analytics works, because that's still going to go through some changes on the visual front. But from what I'm seeing over the last day, I have to say I'm very excited when I'm starting to see some predictability with you. For instance, for you, crypto, last night I said, you know what? Let's look at Litecoin and Litecoin and Bitcoin Gold. And I put up the video today, and it was up 6% over an hour. Oh yeah, thanks, man. Yes, it was great and so valuable information you shared. Thanks a lot. No problem, man. Wow, I'm very interested. Yes. Yeah, like I said, if you go, let me go to my store again. I'm going to do this all over for anybody. Come into the store. If you're interested in the 7-day trial for the analytics, it's really, 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 really cheap. Right there, trial quant analytics, $37 for 7 days. It's full access to everything. So if you want to do that, it's up to you. I only do PayPal right now. But as I said, I'm moving into crypto and accepting crypto as well. But I've been trying out some crypto merchants, and they're so restrictive. It's kind of a, a joke. But yeah, and as I said, I'm going to have this video as a playback. And thanks, man. I appreciate it. And if you got any questions, just email me. Or if you're not, if you are on Facebook, reach out to me on the Messenger, because that's on a lot. So if anybody else got any questions or comments so far, I can be an hour and a half. It's not a problem. Art's got another question. I'm literally trading crypto right now on my other computer screen. I just want to see the value in what you're doing, and can't wait to learn from you. Thanks again. Like I said, Art, if you really want to know, I don't know what language you're using, but from my point of view, and I don't make any money with Python because it's open source and it's free. But to save you time and frustration, I would look into CCXT. Here's the link right here on GitHub. Just type in CCXT, searching for GitHub. And as I said earlier, because you're online right now, this thing's absolutely a stunner. It supports PHP, JavaScript, and Python. And this will talk to over 100 cryptocurrency exchanges. 133 right there. And that takes care of everything. Orders, data, account information. It's absolutely amazing. Anybody else got any questions or comments? If not, we can drop off. I'll be doing this again next Monday at 7. Yeah, that video you posted about CCXT and Binance was how I found you. Oh, yeah, thanks. I will tell you something, Art. I was more well known for a video on Gecko, the trading bot. I'll just say this about JavaScript, which is not very positive. the video did go viral, but I got so much hate for that video, I had to pull it off. But it became my most popular video within 6 months, and I pulled it off because of that comment. But yeah, the gecko and then the CCXT as well. Yeah, but no problem on a CCXT. But you can tell I'm live and interactive as well, which few people do. So anybody else got any comments or questions? I can definitely hang out here if you want. Anybody? Okay, I'm going to wait a minute. Usually what I do, it's 8:33 my time. I'll wait till 8:35, which will give it a minute and a half. So anybody, questions, comments, hate mail, blah, 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 blah. We get it all, or I get it all. And as I said, give it time on YouTube for the video to render. If it's an hour and a half, I'd give it maybe maximum half an hour. Thanks, man. You take care of yourself too. You got my email now, I should. And yeah, I got your Facebook request, so we're all good on the messenger side. And yeah, let me know if you got any questions. I know where you live on the East Coast there, so we're in the same time zone, which makes life easier for all of us. So you're using Redis iTerm. Well, that's my console. Yeah, Python, CCXT. Any other things that you should start learning in the meantime? Yeah, as I was mentioning, the other major ones are charting. I would look at Chart Director. Let me see here. Right here. Here's the site. You can just do right here, Chart Director, interactive financial chart. That works with any platform, any operating system, in any language. It's amazing. I love, and it's cheap, like 150 bucks. Love the thing. I think that's going to cover you pretty good with the database side as well, and Python itself. But CCXT is really good. But when it comes to the broker, that's a different story. Oh, but you only want to do crypto anyway, so CCXT will cover you off pretty good. Anybody else? I got 8:35. Anybody else? I'll be a nice guy and be on 8:37. Anybody got a question or comment? I'm not going to do $1,000 an hour to you guys. I'm not going to do that. Another guy saying he's $2,500. No problem, man. Says, wow, excellent. Glad to get you excited, man. That's why I love doing this myself. It's guys like you that get me excited as well. What's your favorite band? Let's see. Beatles. They go way back, obviously. I go way back too. Modern. I don't listen to a lot of modern music, man. You just can't deal with it. But I'll definitely put the Beatles, Stones, classic rock is probably it. But I listen to everything. I did a 2-3 year stint with country music as well, but I'm no expert there. Anything else? RHCP. RHCP. I remember that. Yeah, here. RH. See, I must be too old sometimes to know these acronyms. Hang on here. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna RHCP. I've heard that and I forgot what it means. Red Hot Chili Peppers, of course. Dumbass I am. Yeah, of course. Pearl Jam, sure. And what else was there? Soundgarden. I even rolled back out some of the early punk grunge stuff. All the bands I can't remember. Yeah, going way back, man. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I forgot about that. That's embarrassing. That's one of those acronyms I'm supposed to know. You know? I get some foreign people that has English as a second language, and they throw in their lingo as if they're writing to some rapper dude I'm supposed to know, and then they type the same way, and I'm like, I got 8:37, or I guess we're done by the looks of it. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. You guys were awesome. Thanks for being online. Hopefully I've given you some tips and highlights of what the course covers. And if you have any other concerns, just email me. You know who you are, or on Facebook. I'll gladly help you out wherever I can. We'll work out a schedule for the live stuff coming up. I do know Christmas is coming up. The other thing I'm concerned about is people's pace of how fast they can pick stuff up. So I don't want to overwhelm them, but it can be done in 6 weeks. But the question is, can people keep up? So I don't know what else you have going on in your life, but we'll figure it all out. Okay, so I guess we'll wrap it up. But thanks again. I mean, this is really exciting. Puts a lot of more bounce in your step if you follow me. So I'm gonna bid adieu, and hopefully, if you want to watch the whole video, it'll be up in about half an hour on YouTube on the same link as the stream. Just got to refresh your browser. That's all you need to do. It's that easy. Okay, guys, I'm going to say good night and good day wherever you are, and we shall talk soon. And you know where to reach me at. Later.